It's 4:30 and this is WKYT This Morning. 2 women are dead after a 3-car crash late last night in Winchester. Police say they're looking into whether drag racing was a possible cause.
Police are asking for help finding some men who they say are both connected to 2 different murders. We'll have the names of the suspects just ahead.
And voters in 6 states went to the polls yesterday to vote in the final big primary day of campaign 2016. We'll have the results coming up on WKYT This Morning.
This is WKYT This Morning.
And Kentucky Morning start here on WKYT. Good morning to you. I'm Bill Bryant.
I'm Rebecca Smith. Thanks so much for being here. Glad
you
to
are
be back.
who?
Yes, that is my name. I remembered that.
That's good to have you back.
Thank you.
Congratulations. I mean, the new arrival, and she's just precious.
She's been just such a treat, such an angel, Amelia. So
it's wonderful. All right. Well, we'll talk more about it throughout the morning, and so good to have you back with us, and good to have you along this morning. Let's check in with meteorologist Micah Harris, who's tracking weather. It's pleasant out there.
Very pleasant. Yeah, it's good to have Rebecca back and getting in the full swing of thing. And boy, things look good outside. Now, I will say this, it's slightly cool as you step out the door early this morning. We're at 55 degrees there in Lexington. We'll actually finish off in the lower 50s for many locations, 53 now in Frankfort. But as we get into the afternoon, check this out. We're at 74 degrees. This is going to be the best day in your 7-day forecast. There's no doubt about that, but we still have some pretty good days left. I'm going to talk all about that and show you that in just a few minutes.
We'll see you shortly, and we thank you, and let's get to the news now.
Well, 2 murders in 2 Kentucky counties. Now state police asking for help finding some men who they say are connected to both of them.
And they say 36-year-old Eugene Wade Jr. and 24-year-old Devontae Hall are wanted for the murders. Police say over the weekend, Devin Payton was found dead in Montgomery County, and Brandy Davidson was found dead in Wolfe County. WKYT's Monique Blair talked to Davidson's parents.
It's horrible. I mean, think about it. I mean, Brandy was beautiful, you know what I'm saying? And now she's gone. We'll never see her again.
Through tears, Gary Sell talked about his daughter, Brandy Davidson, saying she was a joy to be around, someone who never met a stranger. And he believes she was just in the wrong place at the wrong time when she was shot and killed over the weekend.
To my understanding, they shot her in the back. They shot her twice in the head. We're going to have a closed casket now. I'll never get to say goodbye to her again.
Brandy spent several years growing up here in Powell County, and now her family, who still lives here in Powell County, tells me one of the most difficult things of losing Brandy is that now her 3 very young children will grow up without their mother.
No matter how many pictures you show a kid, they're not going to know their mother. I mean, a picture's not mommy.
But it's not only her children who will feel the void.
I've lost my daughter. Nothing can bring back your daughter, nothing.
Brandy's family has set up a GoFundMe account to help pay for funeral expenses, and anything left over will go into a college fund for her children.
It would be a tragic not to be able to bury our daughter right. You know what I'm saying? Our daughter meant the world to us.
In Powell County, Monique Blair, WKYT.
And you can find a link to that GoFundMe site at WKYT.com. Police have not said what they think led up to the double murder.
Well, we have some more information about the public memorials planned for Muhammad Ali in Louisville later this week. The boxing legend died last Friday at the age of 74. An Ali family spokesperson said last night that President Obama will not be able to attend the funeral at the KFC Yum Center Friday afternoon because his daughter graduates high school that same day. Instead, the president is sending senior advisor Valerie Jarrett, who will read a statement from the president during the service. The family says numerous heads of state will attend. Governor Bevin will also be there.
Governor Bevin will direct Kentucky's state flag to be flown at half-staff on Friday, June 10th, as a mark of respect for Muhammad Ali, a global icon and our Kentucky native son.
Tickets for the funeral will be handed out at the Yum Center box office starting this morning at 10. There are 15,000 tickets available. You'll be able to watch the service live Friday afternoon on WKYT.com. The Ali family also announced the tickets are still available for tomorrow's Islamic funeral prayer service that will be held at Freedom Hall and the neighboring Kentucky Expo Center. Well, in New York, a street near Madison Square Garden has been temporarily renamed after Muhammad Ali. The stretch of West 33rd Street next to the arena will be named Muhammad Ali Way for the next week. Ali fought 8 times at Madison Square Garden, including the fight of the century against Joe Frazier in 1971.
New this morning, 2 people are dead after a 3-car crash late last night. It happened around 10:30 at the intersection of Bypass and Colby Roads in Winchester. Police say the 2 women who died were both in a car that had serious rear end damage. Police are investigating how the crash happened. They say they are looking into the possibility that 2 of the cars may have been drag racing. Investigators say they should be able to get a good indication of speed because 1 car had a computer in it. It is unclear how many people in total were involved in the crash. Police say at least 2 other women had some minor injuries. 1 person has died after a crash on a Casey County road. The Casey County Sheriff's Office says it happened around 7 last night on Poplar Hill Road near Liberty. Investigators say a car hit a tree. They're still trying to figure out how the crash happened exactly. The name of the person killed has not been released.
Hillary Clinton told supporters she has shattered the glass ceiling. Clinton is the Democratic Party's presumptive nominee, a first for a female candidate in any major party. She won most of Tuesday's primaries and is leading in California, but Bernie Sanders is vowing to fight on. Danielle Nottingham has the latest from the campaign trail.
Hillary Clinton celebrated her campaign victories by acknowledging their mark on history.
We've reached a milestone. The first time in our nation's history that a woman will be a major party's nominee.
Clinton's speech also teed up her race against her rival for the general election, Donald Trump.
Donald Trump is temperamentally unfit to be president and commander-in-chief.
I will make you proud of your party and our movement.
Trump sounded positive as he thanked supporters after picking up more delegates of his own Tuesday. He also said he would deliver a major speech next week about the Clintons.
The last thing we need is Hillary Clinton in the White House or an extension of the Obama disaster.
But according to Bernie Sanders, the race for the Democratic nomination isn't over.
We are going to fight hard to win the primary in Washington, D.C., and then we take our fight for social, economic, racial, and environmental justice to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Sanders spoke with President Obama, who congratulated him on his campaign. The 2 will meet at the White House on Thursday. Danielle Nottingham, CBS News, Los Angeles.
And Bernie Sanders is the projected winner in Montana and in North Dakota. Trump has won all of yesterday's Republican races so far.
If you have chickens in your backyard, the Centers for Disease Control has a warning for you this morning. Health experts say they are investigating salmonella outbreaks that could be connected to poultry, and some of the cases are here in Kentucky. WKYT's Garrett Weimer has more on that story.
It's a common sight, a common sound at farms and even backyards. Donna Cox's family has 14 chickens at their home in Lexington. Cox says she's raised chickens her whole life.
Yeah, I grew up on a ranch in Nevada, so we had lots of chickens, and I was kind of in charge of the chickens. We had probably always 20 to 30 chickens.
Now the CDC says birds like these in your backyard could be the source of 7 separate salmonella outbreaks. The CDC says they're investigating more than 300 salmonella cases, including more than 20 here in Kentucky. The CDC says more than 90% of the sick people they interviewed told them they had touched live poultry before they got sick. The CDC is now urging folks to follow several steps to stay healthy. First, wash your hands after touching live poultry. Don't let the birds inside your house, and don't let kids under 5 years old pick them up or touch them. The Coxes say they're not too concerned. They've never had problems with salmonella before, but they're taking some common sense precautions, just like they always do.
We just make it a habit to wash our hands. If we come out and pick them up, we come in and wash our hands. That's it.
In Lexington, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
And we should point out the CDC says the birds linked to the salmonella cases did not come from the same place. The CDC says it expects the outbreaks to continue for the next several months. So that's not good news, but we'll keep a watch on that. Coming up on 440, 20 before 5 on WKYT this morning, and we are just getting started with all the latest news on your Wednesday.
Well, chances are pretty high that you or someone you know has been approached by a scam artist. We'll have a new way to keep track of one of the latest schemes when we come back on WKYT this morning.
It is all about the feel the next couple of days. I mean, you're talking about great weather in store. I'm going to talk about that. Then I'm going to get into the forecast for this weekend because it gets pretty steamy. It's coming up next.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
Start to the day. We get outside and you can already feel that cooler air sinking on in. We're there in the 50s right now, and it looks like some of us may even finish off in the upper 40s. So it's just one of those starts that you're going to walk outside and you will feel a difference in the air. Live sky camera, it's a good shot. You can see every star in the sky early this morning with those clear skies. Things look great too. We're at 55 now in Lexington, 52 in Danville, and you go down in Dunville as well as Liberty. There in Casey County, we're holding on to temperatures there in the lower 50s. Over toward the east, work your way into Powell, Wolf, Lee, Estill County, holding on to the mid-50s and 52 now in Harlan. Down in Harlan County. Now we get through your day. We'll be at 74 degrees, a lot of sunshine today. That dry air is just eating away at that cloud cover, and you just won't see many clouds today. You'll get some toward the afternoon, but don't expect any rain today, not even a chance. We're at 74 degrees. You got to love that. Low humidity. Off into the evening is perfect for walks around the neighborhood with the kiddos. It's great weather for that. So we're right around 70 degrees, 8 p.m., 7 p.m. And then we get off into the night, clear skies once again, and we start off with a beautiful day tomorrow morning around 50 degrees. So it gets a little bit cooler overnight and into tomorrow morning. Let's talk about your muggy meter today. Still very pleasant. Tomorrow still looks pretty pleasant. And then we get to Friday. I talked about this the past couple of days. This Friday is kind of when things start to change just a little bit. You'll get a little bit more humidity. Friday, there is a chance of rain, but there's a small chance, especially, I would say, up toward the north and northeast. That's probably your best opportunity. So most of us stay dry there on Friday, and then we head off towards your weekend. As that warm front extends north of us, that'll give us some really warm temperatures there for the weekend. Saturday, roughly 90 degrees, depending on where you live. Sunday, you could still get a 90-degree reading on Sunday, but it all depends on where you get the cloud cover, where you get that chance of rain. But as of right now, guys, it does look like next couple of days look fantastic, and they'll feel great, too. That is the key. It's a great feel here early for June. It's not bad.
The last time I was up here, it was 35 degrees, so 3 months ago.
So, yeah, it's much better than that.
It was winter when you went on.
That's right, that's right.
Yeah, all right. Well, it's been an interesting spring, hasn't it? In more ways than one. 4:45 is our time this morning. It can be heartbreaking. Victims of scams giving away thousands of their hard-earned dollars with no recourse to get the money back.
In today's Mom's Everyday Minute, a new way to stay a step ahead of scammers. According to the Better Business Bureau, the top 5 scams last year all involved tricking victims into paying money up front for some kind of fake emergency or prize. Topping the list was the tax scam and debt collection scam. In both cases, victims are told they owe money for taxes or old debt. Well, we found out details from the Better Business Bureau.
You receive a phone call. Somebody says, you have a debt that you haven't paid. Maybe it's 5, maybe it's 10, maybe it's 15 or even 20 years old, and they're very abusive and threatening to you on the phone and tell you, you need to pay this right now, or the sheriff or the police or some other law enforcement agency is going to be at your door in the next hour.
She says even if the caller has a few tidbits of information about you, don't give any personal information out over the phone. If you're suspicious of a call, there's a new way to see if it might be a scam. With the Better Business Bureau's Scam Tracker website, you can report a scam and see what scams are being reported across the country and in your area. Go to bbb.org/scam tracker. For more ways to make mom's life easier, visit momseveryday.com. For these tips and more, go to WKYT.com, click on Moms Every Day.
And there you'll find all the latest news and weather as well. And it's good to have you with us. Here we are Wednesday morning, middle of the week. And when WKYT This Morning returns, we have a lot more.
Yeah, Michigan police say 5 cyclists are dead after a truck slammed into them. 3 other cyclists as well were involved in that. We'll have more after the break.
Welcome back into WKYT this morning. 4:50 is the time, 10 till 5 on your Wednesday. Police say that 5 cyclists were killed in Michigan when a truck slammed into them.
This happened just outside Kalamazoo. Police say the truck hit 8 cyclists total. The 3 survivors were rushed to a hospital. Their conditions are not known this morning. Police say the driver of the truck ran off but was later arrested. They're still investigating why the truck hit the cyclists. A 13-year-old Frankfort girl is recovering after being shot while visiting family in Louisville. Family members say Kahona Morris was inside her aunt's home with other family members at the time. They say about 11 o'clock Monday night, a stray bullet came inside the home and hit Kahona in the leg.
It came through the wall. The whole side of the house is shot up. The front window shot up, and they was in the house innocently playing, getting ready for bed.
Family members say the bullet is still lodged in the girl's leg. She'll likely need to use crutches when she's released from the hospital. So far, police in Louisville have not made any arrests in the shooting.
Investigators say an 11-year-old McCreary County boy drowned while swimming with his family. They say Caden Allen was in the Big South Fork of the Cumberland River on Monday night when he went underwater and never came back up. Search crews found his body yesterday morning. Park rangers say the river in that area is often deceptively deep.
It can be about 20, 30 feet in some spots, maybe a little bit deeper in some spots, just depending on where it is. It can be quite deep.
Investigators say Caden was not an experienced swimmer, and he probably swam too far out into the water.
We have some new information about a federal lawsuit filed against a Breathitt County ambulance company. The government claims the owner of Aero Med Ambulance milked more than $1 million from Medicare and Medicaid by billing the programs for non-emergency transports. The lawsuit also claims Aero Med made employees change medical records to make sure Medicaid and Medicare, I should say, would cover the costs. Last night, the company's attorney denied the claims. He also said the company had an order for every transport they did, and the owner will fight the lawsuit in court. Firefighters were on the scene late into the night at a 3-alarm fire at a northern Kentucky business. The fire started around 6 last night at A1 Pallet Distributing in Florence. At one point, witnesses reported seeing smoke from miles away. Firefighters think the fire started on a pile of more than 1,000 pallets before moving into the building nearby. No injuries were reported. Nearby Industrial Road in Florence was closed because of the fire.
An eastern Kentucky church is rising from the ashes more than a year after a fire. That fire back in February of 2015 destroyed the Mill Creek Baptist Church in Bell County, but now the church is being rebuilt. And yesterday, church members marked a milestone when a new steeple was raised onto the building. Volunteers from around the country have traveled to Bell County to help in the rebuilding process.
We pay our own way. The people pay for their flight. They take a week out of their life, their vacation, and they come and pay to work here.
Church members think the new building will be finished up by Friday. So that is some perseverance in getting that community church back together with some help.
Good to see that.
And it's good to see you along at 4:53, 7 before 5. Coming up next, we'll have a look at some of the stories our news team is working on for you this morning.
We'll also have another look at your morning forecast. Stay with us.
Welcome back in. WKYT this morning, live on the air at 4:56. Good to have you with us.
Yeah, it's time right now to take a look at some of the stories we're working on for you at this hour.
Already a busy morning. Police are investigating after 2 people died in a 3-car crash in Clark County. We'll have more on the investigation coming up at 5 o'clock.
There are several memorials coming up for Muhammad Ali. We'll have the updated details on those for you ahead in the next half hour of WKYT this morning.
And it's a pleasant start to the morning out there right now. We have some heat on the way, it sounds like.
Yeah, heat's on, Micah.
It is, especially as we get towards your weekend. Your weekend gets really warm. The next couple of days look good, so we're going to go down into the valley temperature-wise, and then we'll go right up to the ridge temperature-wise as we head towards your weekend. Temperatures in the 50s this morning. It's actually a cool start in some locations. Some locations will finish off in the upper 40s. So we get through your morning with that cool start. By the afternoon, less humidity, 74 degrees. Fantastic weather for today. How long does it last? I'm going to show you that in your forecast with another 2 hours of WKYT News coming up in just a couple of minutes. There's a look at Hamburg. We'll see you back here in a couple of minutes.